Dog, McClung's he's a white Steve Francis, dog.
No, he's not.
He's hard, bro.
That's a lot on it, dog. That's a lot on it.
McClung's hard, bro. People don't know.
No, you know who's hard? Watch out for the nigga on the Rockets, Jalen Green.
Yeah, he's supposed to be hard, though. He's a top pick.
He's a baller. He's a baller. Okay.
Yo, what up? Y'all can hear me?
Got a two, got a one. It's game. Yes!
This one is crushed. MC Cannibal, rap Hannibal. Here to change the game, mainframe, all y'all programmable. Coaching on tracks, balling like a paper like Phil. I'm obvious if real, my rhymes convict and heal.
Welcome to the Faithful Fan Show. I'm your host, Tony Cook. I am joined today by a couple of our faithful guests, Taylor Ray Tribble and Just Do It Julian Petway. What's happening, fellas? How you doing, Taylor?
Big chilling, bro. Big chilling. What's up?
Big chilling. Okay, I see you. Jay, how's it out there in Mexico?
Man, it's good, bro. Just on the grind, blessed, staying healthy, being able to do what I love,
I seen the workout videos, bro. You getting it?
Appreciate you, man.
Both y'all getting it in.
How y'all doing, man?
Doing good. Me and Taylor was talking earlier how it's so good to stay healthy. All the team got to stay healthy, especially as we get older. We got to stay on top of this stuff, man. We got to stay on top of this stuff.
For sure.
Let's get to it, gentlemen. We haven't talked about a lot of this stuff that's happened with the Lakers, but first, because we're between basketball and football season, we could do this. We could have a partially music segment.
Let's go, big nigga.
Dipset versus LOX in the versus battles. Are there mixed opinions? What's going on? Like, I seen a massacre out there, honestly. If you watched it live, I saw a massacre. Let me hear how you guys, Jay, you're the one that wanted to do this. I'm gonna let you start it. How did you feel about it?
Man, I just say you gotta put some respect on Dipset's name. It's just like it's like this. I'm gonna put it like this. Just as much as you gotta put respect on the LOX's name, they're both great legendary groups. Like, all due respect. But very this punking and this facade that Dipset got washed off the stage is like, it's the equivalent of like an NBA franchise Hall of Fame champion player going back and playing in the Drew League and then losing to like his rival now. Like, it's not the same. Like, Dipset's already been there, done that. Dipset's time was so legendary. Their impact on as a group, their swags individually, like, and me and Taylor, we went into this a lot on his live already. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. Yeah. So I just want to say that I don't think that either one got like punked or either one killed either one. I think it was a good showing for both of them, because you got to see that Dipset, yeah, they haven't been together. They're not as tight like that, but when their time was their time, they were so legendary. They were way more legendary than the LOX, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And that's music. That's art. We all have our opinion.
And I would say the same. And going into it, I said the same thing.
This is my last point. Real quick. For the sport and for like artists and people that are really into music and live performing and rapping, I completely understand the aspect of having the vocals not behind you and you spitting your bars. Like, I respect that. Like, that's a sport. And I feel like the LOX, they had to do that because that's their lane. You know what I'm saying? So that's their game. Okay. So I don't think that Dipset, you know what I'm saying? They're not going up there trying to do an Olympic rapping battle sport. You know what I mean? They're up there showing their legendary catalog. You feel me? So it was just good to see those guys back together again. You know what I mean? So Dipset, in my opinion, if we had to pick a winner, I'm going with the Dipset.
All right, Jay. Okay, well, faithful fans, if you guys are music fans, weigh in. Taylor, I'm gonna let you go at it now. Go ahead.
Okay.
How do you feel about the versus battle between the LOX and Dipset?
I feel like when we went live, it's like, it would be like watching Julian 10 years from now, and somebody's giving him buckets who's a respectable baller, but I know that Julian should be giving them more buckets, but he's playing his game and it was a good game, but I haven't lost any faith in Drew. I'm just like, damn, Drew, you should have hit him with the reverse dunk that you do, like there's little things that I think they could have did to make it to bring it more into their element, I think New York won. If you ask me, New York won that night. I think New York and hip hop got a dub because they got to see two of the greatest groups of all time do their shit for real. And that's really cool. As a hip hop fan, it's like the quarantine kind of like made dreams come true because we're getting to see artists. We're looking for other ways to reach fans and to bring excitement during a time where there's nowhere to go. And they did that. I think they accomplished that.
Artists of our era too. Like when we were growing up and in
high
school.
And if I really, I was a little, turned up because me and Julian were going hard with our opinions, but you can't wipe your ass with an opinion. Those guys are both legend. Both those groups are fucking legendary. There's nothing you can take from them. There's no they could have went up there and put the mic up to their ass and farted for 2 hours and they're still Dipset and LOX. So
we were asking who won between
after speaking to Julian and watching it again and refreshing my mind on it, I feel that there isn't a clear-cut winner. I think New York won. I think that they both did what they were supposed to do. The LOX made it their element. And that's the only thing that I think Dipset did that wasn't, they're all legends in their own right. Freaky's been through what he's been through to be up there dancing and still vibing after all they've been through. Dope as fuck. Because there's times during the Dipset era where he was locked up. We didn't even get to see the full Dip, even in their prime, So that was cool to see that.
I got you, Taylor. I see what's going on. Like, you must have a Dipset feature in the cut because that was a very politically correct answer. Very politically correct answer.
Well, no, it's just realizing
think about it, guys. Think about it though. Like, if we're asking about when we watched it live,
it's different respect when you play the game. Like when Julian watches a basketball player take a L, he has a different perspective of it than somebody who's a fan. Being that I'm active in it, I have to remember that I actually do that and I know what goes into it. Mm-hmm. So I believe that there was grades, right? So like there's things that the LOX did that I think they could have did better too. I mean, they killed it, but it wasn't a perfect thing either. No. I feel like each of them could have taken it a different, could have taken and did different things. I think,
like you said, Taylor, like you said, like I thought that the Dipset gang, Bird gang, could have done things to combat what the LOX with because the LOX threw some stuff at.
Hey, I'm gonna say this though. Let me say this too.
Early, Dipset saw it a mile away early.
Every time
the LOX were doing what they were doing.
Every time Dipset was about to play a banger, Jadakiss was like the old man at the park that holds the ball up because he doesn't want to run no more. Like he starts talking and trying to slow the game down. He's trying to finesse the game with his words about what's gonna happen, what the opponent's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just because he's trying to steal their thunder. He was trying to steal their thunder just as much. But if you peep the game, then you listen to what Cameron was saying back to him and stuff like that. Like that's why I feel like it was strong on their end too. You know what I mean? They weren't going for that. So it's like just as much as y'all were trying to make it a rap battle with no vocals in the back, Joel's had his microphone with his back to the crowd in a whole crowd of shit. Come on, bro.
Okay.
Come on, bro. That's respect,
come on. And honestly, going into it, I was Bird Gang all day because I grew up in that. Like LOX is a little before I was, able to understand.
Hey, give me 1 second. I gotta grab my charger. I'm right here though. Give me 1 second. I'm grabbing my charger.
Honestly, but if I had to call it live, LOX did a lot of stuff live in front of the crowd to sway the crowd. They had the crowd control. They honestly had the hits too. Like a lot of those Dipset records held up against the LOX records. I was surprised that the LOX came with what they came with. Honestly, like that's all I got to say.
Well, see, here's the thing is I listened to the LOX quite a bit, so I knew their catalog a little more extensive, and I knew what they had in the chamber, and I knew that that's the perfect element for them. And I was very impressed with how Dipset was able to still in a lane where, that's the LOX bread and butter, like get up on the mic, control the stage. You know what I mean? Dipset did the same, but I feel they both put on a show in their fashion. Like Julian pointed that out, and that was a very good point because as a fan, you're just looking at you're listening to the loudest voice, and you're looking at who's doing the most. But if you really break it down, that's Dipset. Okay, y'all. Okay, do your thing, nigga. All right. Okay, we see y'all for sure. And then we're gonna do our shit. They're not the get in your face and push you niggas back and bully ball type niggas. They're swaggy, smooth, suave cats. So when you really look at it, they both played their game the way they were supposed to, and they didn't really get out of character too much, And especially being, in their 40s, most of them, it's maybe, even, close pushing 50. It's not a thing now to where they're going to be, screaming each other's face and, doing jumping jacks when they perform. It's past. I think the only thing that I will give the LOX, and it's not fair to Dipset to do that because they've had so much shit come in between just making the music. You know what I'm saying? I think that the LOX did a very good job of playing team ball.
Yeah.
I think they played a very, very solid team game. They came in there with the game plan and they executed it absolutely fucking brilliantly. And I think that
I'm gonna say this too.
In my opinion.
If you got to give an MVP out or a player of the game, I mean, Jadakiss, he was that dude that night. He really held it down.
Like, you can't have the discussion.
His individual, his very individual performance the entire evening. You know what I'm saying? That was MVP player of the game type balling. You feel me? Like, he really came to ball that night. He really did. Out of all the rappers, you know what I'm saying? So I think that like what Taylor was saying, and then it's just, man, at the end of the day, they're you know what I mean? They're not in no beef or battling. They're homies. They're going on tour. You feel me? So it's just like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not that deep.
It wasn't hostile. It wasn't really hostile up there. It wasn't.
Yeah.
No. And that's why I said New York won that night. We won. The fans.
We won. We won. I love it.
Everybody, the culture, the whole culture. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody,
the whole culture.
Like, nobody expected, 20-minute acapellas from Dipset. Nobody was expecting. They wanted to have a good time, hear the records that they love, get the crowd moving, see them flexing, see everybody up there swaggy together, smiling, laughing, dancing.
You know what else I love, Taylor? I love that you went back. You're a super rap nerd, so you went back, watched it again, and you have a different outlook on the whole thing. I love that. I love that too.
Hey, I remember literally
like a week ago when it first happened, we was talking a little different, but like now, and everything that you said, you're right. They didn't get shook. Like, if you look at it, Dipset just played their game. They didn't feed into what the LOX was trying to do. They just kept cool, did what they was going to do. I didn't look at it that way.
And Julian made that point when we were speaking on IG. So, once I shut the fuck up and kind of calmed down and thought about it, it was a good point. And when I looked back on it, it was a pretty good point. And if we're judging it based on points, what's the point system? Is the point system crowd excitement? Is the point system who performed their lyrics the best? And watching it live, I feel like it is going to always be, what'd you do with that? Because the crowd was there and they're the determining factor right then and there in the moment. But then, like you said, when you step back and you're a fan of both groups, it's an easier way to digest. Here's where it's a little harder though. So like in a rap battle, let's say a freestyle, like a straight rap battle, right? You would have, the camera facing the niggas that are battling. You wouldn't really know what the crowd's doing. So it's all based on, internet judgment at that point. Being in the crowd creates a different energy. So we don't know what was going on when Dipset was performing.
True.
Like we don't know the true crowd response. We just know that when LOX performed, we heard every lyric clearly, and that they were moving in the crowd. They were running a 3-man weave on the stage very cleanly. So aesthetically and sonically, watching it online, you're automatically going to go, oh, the LOX crushed them. But if you're in the crowd and the crowd is fucking losing their mind and they're not rapping and you're there, you may not have that same opinion. You might be like, it was, man, that shit was tight. You might just be like, that shit was hard, because in the crowd, it's different. I'm not going to take anything away from the LOX. They absolutely came in there with a good game plan. And if I were to say what group I was more heavily influenced by as a kid, it would definitely be Dipset. But if I were to say whose records spoke to my soul on a little bit deeper of a level, it would be LOX. Like records like We Gon' Make It and shit like that. Those are records that pull you out of a fucking depression. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's to me, they both did a great job, and it's a really hard one to judge. It just goes off what you preferred. If you're a guy that loves backpack rap and bars and clean lyrics, the LOX did it for you. If you're a guy who likes the full package with the looks and the lights and the glamour and the shiny clothes and shit, Dipset's going to do that for you every time. And they're going to give you the bars too. So that's why I say New York won, bro. Like it's one of those ones that's really a toss up. It can be debated till the end of fucking time.
Definitely.
There's no clear cut like they fucking nah. It's like
Like you said, Taylor, the fans won and New York
Yeah.
won. That
New
was
York.
that was a
The
great
fans won,
versus.
New York won.
Honestly, that might be my favorite verse. It might have been my favorite versus the one. Actually, Jada's had two amazing ones because him against Fabulous was good too. But okay, guys, we're gonna shift. This is a sports show. We had to talk a little rap, had to talk a little music because we're all fans. But let's talk about these Lakers, guys. A lot has happened. I have to get your guys' take because last time me and Taylor talked, we were looking to get Russell Westbrook. But now the Lakers have traded away Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, KCP, I think a draft pick. And look, we have Russell Westbrook. We have a big
I called it too.
JP, how do you feel about this? Long time Laker fan. How do you feel about the addition of Russell Westbrook and everybody else? How have the Lakers done so far in the offseason?
Well, I'm gonna say that with Russell Westbrook, that's a great addition, man. You know what I'm saying? He's just another guy. He's poised,
good fit.
Hall of Fame career player, poised, ready to win a championship, just as well as Melo. You know, that's my second favorite player all time. You know what I mean? So watching his game and you know what I mean, like giving him a chance to win with LeBron, and also bringing Dwight Howard back. Getting THT, holding on to THT was a big thing. I think that he's a bright star for the Lakers. That's a young bull right there. So
20 years old.
Yeah, he's really good, man. And I think that bringing back a guy like Dwight Howard, now it's just up to them. You know, they have the right guys. You know, you can't say anybody's gonna win it right off the gate, but if you look at it, I just look at that team and I know they got a really good chance to get there and get it done. I believe that, you know, if they can stay healthy. So I think that's a good weapon to add. And you got Wayne Ellington. Maybe just get another couple of shooters. Get a couple of other shooters in there.
A couple more roster spots, I think, available.
You gotta get some shooters in there. And I heard that they're trying to maybe consider Isaiah Thomas. So
81 in the 81.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know what I mean. They just got to get more shooters. I mean, that's a guy that can catch and knock down threes. So that's a good option. But you know, look at getting some more shooters, and that's a complete ball club right there. You know, that's a good, strong team with a lot of championship experience, really poised to win. And LeBron's gonna help Russell Westbrook get him to the point where he's never been to. Yeah. And he's gonna put him on that stage, and he's gonna put him in that mode, and he's gonna put him in that environment where he's gonna have a true chance to win it all. And it's just up to those guys to, like, you know, stay healthy, stay together, and you know, they should go far, man. They should go far. Okay. That's how I feel.
So, ladies and gentlemen, young Julian is impressed with the Lakers offseason so far. Taylor, how do you feel? I know you're excited about Russell Westbrook. How do you feel about everything else that's happened along with Russell Westbrook? Do you think it's a good fit?
I always did. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at what LeBron did in Miami with that Miami team, this Laker team is like a Miami team on steroids.
Yeah.
And I say because Westbrook has flashes of Wade in his game, that aggressive nature, that slash mentality. He's not a catch and shoot guy, but he's a guy when he gets in rhythm, he can knock him down. He can. Yeah. He's a guy who can stop and pop in the midi. He really has a lot of Dwayne Wade-esque game, but he also brings some things to the table that Wade didn't bring. Very, very, very great rebounder, very great passer. And Wade was a great passer, but he wasn't, you know, leading the league in assists. So now you have two of arguably the best passers in the NBA on the team together. They draw the most attention. And honestly, I really do feel Julian on that point, but I think the shooters that we added. Oh, hold on. Let me get back to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is far better than, I don't say far better, but he is
Chris Bosh. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a couple points. Like if this is 2K, he's a couple points better than Chris Bosh. If this is a video game.
I would agree with that.
He can do a couple things that Bosh didn't do all the time. You know, Bosh could do those things, but that wasn't what he was asked to do.
He's not. Bosh wasn't imposing inside. Like Anthony Davis is getting to the cup to score two to the free throw line. You know?
Right. So I think, you know, Jay made a great point about Dwight. I think that brings that energy that you know, hit the glass mentality. I think if they just they're going to kill it on the boards. I think Malik Monk is a 40% 3-point shooter. Kendrick Nunn is a 40% three-point shooter. Wayne Ellington's a 40% three-point shooter. Those are three guys that shoot 40. 40 is like top 10% in the NBA, or top 10% in the NBA.
Definitely.
So we got literally the best shooters we could have possibly gotten so far, besides a few other guys out there. And we got
another guy that we got that's decent, a decent shooter, but also Vogel's gonna play him a lot because of defense. Kent Bazemore. I know a lot of people know
he's a 40+%.
He's gonna play a lot. He might. He might.
Yeah.
Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah, I mentioned Nunn.
Yeah,
Trevor Ariza too is another sleeper, bro. Trevor Ariza is like, he's one of those guys that's like an Iguodala or a, he's one of those guys.
Definitely.
And then let's not forget, we got Mr. Right side of the wing every time, 60% Melo, bro. Like, he's gonna make those shots and he's gonna be wide. It's gonna be like a barn door in the middle of the fucking woods, in the middle of a pasture. Like, he's gonna just be able to hit. That's a terrible analogy, but he's gonna be able to hit them all day.
But still, the way he was able to exist in Portland with McCollum and Lillard, think of how open. Like, he's gonna be able to be on the elbow or be on the baseline.
I think if you look to Taylor's point about what he said about like the Miami version, like, that's very true, because even if you look at a guy like Melo at this point in his career, look at a guy like Mike Miller, or what's that name, right? Mike Miller, right? No. He's Melo is like a 6'5" times way better still today than what that was for LeBron. So, even if LeBron, you factor in people, you could factor in the fact that LeBron is older and he is at the, let's say, the back end of his career. We could still look at the surrounding pieces that he has, and just with his mental aspect of the game to lead guys and get better, like to get more out of his teammates than a lot of guys have ever done in history. Like, he's a winner, so he's going to be able to lead these guys. And when you have guys that have never won championships, like the Melos, like the Westbrooks, they're willing to play and sacrifice everything at this point to win it all. So I think that's what it comes down to, is like, if you can stay healthy and you can stay together, where it's just like, it's not about me, it's not about it's just about us getting to that goal.
Okay,
I mean? So
you say healthy, and I want to talk about this because
real quick, Tone.
Okay.
May I make a point real fast?
Yes, go ahead.
He said Mike Miller. I feel that's a little disrespectful. Mike Miller was nice, but I think Melo's more in the lane of a Ray Allen. He's one of the top scorers of all time. I agree. I would say a Kent Bazemore or one of those guys is more comparable to Mike Miller, personally.
I was just saying in the factor of the sense of the way guys will be open to hit down wide open threes and just be shooters. You know what I'm saying?
He's reliable, wide open knockdown shooter. He's reliable.
Yeah, it's going to be the ocean.
You got way better guys that are going to be able to shoot those wide open shots, and not only do that, like, they got 1-2 dribble moves to get to the basket if you want to take that away too. Like, so they're not just solely catch and shoot guys only either. So I think that healthy, man, it's just about being healthy.
So, that's what I wanted to say. Oh, so
we saw that this year
on social media, how the team might be old. Do we have any concerns about us being Taylor?
I got one thing for that. So here was what we did that was beautiful, and why Magic said we won't lose a game this year. Because
did he say that?
Yeah, he did. He said we're gonna go undefeated this year. So
let's go, Magic.
Here we go. Now people don't realize how great Kendrick Nunn is. He's a guy that's a starter. So Westbrook gets hurt. Now we have a true, what would be considered, because Westbrook is a true point guard. You don't lead the league in assists if you're not a true point guard. But we have a true, traditional is a better word. We have a traditional point guard in Kendrick Nunn, right? Who's aggressive and can score inside. He's a guy that if Westbrook gets hurt, we still can go to the ship. And we didn't have that luxury.
And we signed him for 2 years.
We didn't have that. We didn't have that luxury last year where if we lose a guy, the guy behind him can carry championship weight. We now have a guy that can. Kendrick Nunn's been there. He has champion. He didn't necessarily win, but he's been there. And he's a guy that if Westbrook goes down, God forbid, because Westbrook deserves this so much.
Yeah.
He's a guy that can step in there and can fill it in until Westbrook gets back. I don't think we lose it. I don't think we lose everything. We lose quite a bit, but we don't lose everything. If AD gets hurt, okay, hey Melo, we need a couple more minutes out of you this game. Hey, Taylor Horton, you're gonna shoot a little more this game. We're gonna need you to be a little bit more aggressive. AD, we're gonna need you to play center for a little bit.
So those are good. Those are good. Like, I love the point.
I also think too, this is gonna be the first year where we see Russell Westbrook play a style that we've never really seen him play before. Because this is going to be the first year ever where he's going to look over to his left and right and be like, look, I'm with LeBron.
Yeah.
I'm not with nobody. I'm with LeBron. Like, it's going to be the first year where it's like he'll be able to like tap into a way more deeper player, because in the sense of like he doesn't have the weight on his shoulder. It's more on LeBron's back. Like the pressure, it's like it's not about if Russell Westbrook loses, it's more about like LeBron's legacy. So I think he understands that. This is the first time where he's played with a lot of different guys, from the Paul Georges, the James Hardens,
and,
Kevin
and
Durant.
not even just the LeBron and Jay, not even just the LeBron. Think about what Anthony, what he'll be able to do with Anthony Davis, not just Anthony Davis,
and also for Lakers tradition, and also for Lakers tradition, him being from Cali, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lakers tradition period. Like this is the first year where it's like it really means the most. You know what I mean? Like it's not about me. It's not about like
high school.
Because I think that the thing about Westbrook is like, because he is such a great player, and it's like he didn't get on another team after he didn't ring chase and he didn't band up yet, and so it's like people like he felt like, oh, y'all are like always like sleeping on me, like I'm not like good just because I don't win the championship, you know. So I think this is the first year where he's gonna be like, okay, I'm really trying to win the championship. Like he'll be on his like similar to like a Chris Paul, more like about the team. You know what I'm saying? Like
Russell Westbrook's been hated on for a lot of years, and he's, you know, arguably he's going to go down as a Hall of Famer regardless because of his numbers.
Of course,
and he's hated on way too much.
He leads in the triple doubles, right?
For a Hall of Fame player. And what I was saying, Jay, is he's never even had a player like Anthony Davis to throw the lob up to, and now you have Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard. Like that's going to be a lot too. Rebounds. We're going to be like you guys said, we're going to dominate the boards. Lakers.
We're going to see like, cause LeBron is really smart. So think about it. Like LeBron's played against Westbrook for a long time now. These boys been going head to head long time now. So it's going to be the first time where it's like, he's going to listen to LeBron in the sense of, okay, what do you think I should do? Like, how can I attack them? Like how can we use me to win this, to get to these trophies? You know, like he's going to listen to LeBron in that sense. Like, so like, let's just see the way he approaches it. Like, and let's see how he plays, because I really believe that. Like, I think this is the first time where he'll like look over to someone and be like, okay, what do you think? Like, what can I do to win? Like, how can you use me?
This is the first time where I feel like, oh yeah, for sure. He looks up. He's never
done that, because of the sense of,
maybe didn't
look.
I
mean, he's always been the man. He's been the dog. Like he felt like, I'm the man, I'm the dog, which rightfully he feels he should. You know, just because like he was put with KD, he was put with Harden, he's put with all these greats, and he held his own. He consistently held his own.
So guys, the Lakers, they have their big three. Is this big three better than the Nets' big three? Would you guys classify it as? Like, Taylor, how do you feel?
Pinning this big three stays yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, Laker fans.
Because and may I explain why?
JP thinks the Nets.
May I explain why?
Go ahead.
Okay. So AD, if you put AD on that Nets team, they maybe go undefeated last year, even with the guy going down. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Kyrie and Westbrook, it's very close, because
I agree.
There's things that Westbrook does so well. There's things that Kyrie does so well, but Westbrook is able to assert his will and be the guy if he needs to be. Yeah. Every night if he needs to be. Yeah. There's nights where Kyrie defers or without it needing to be the case. And Kyrie has that ability. He's the most skilled player, I think, skilled point guard that I've ever seen besides Steph. It's close.
Dude, I'm sorry. Kyrie Irving's highlight of his career is having LeBron James on his team. And so LeBron and KD, they kind of etch each other out. It's kind of like it's a stalemate. But LeBron can do some things that Kevin Durant cannot do. There's things that LeBron brings to the table. Not that Kevin Durant can't do, but that Kevin Durant hasn't had to do. LeBron has had to be a point guard. Kevin Durant has never had to play point guard. Very true.
He's just been able to go down and jack him. And so I think that's the versatility there, is the utility that comes with it makes LeBron more valuable with five guys, which is why it's always been like a 1-2 thing.
So tell me, Taylor.
Anthony Davis and James Harden, I think, James is amazing, but Anthony Davis, you have players that are James Harden-esque. There's nobody in the league doing what Anthony Davis does with the basketball at that size. So it's a little bit different, man. I think their big three, what it takes to win a basketball game. Like if they're playing like 3-on-3 big three, well, yeah, fuck. If they don't, if Brooklyn gets the ball first, they win. But I think if we're talking about a 5-man game with these three leading, I just think that Laker team brings a little bit more to the table. Each player is a little bit more versatile. Westbrook, he hasn't proven himself as a stop and pop, pull up 3-point shooter. But if you eliminate that, then it's almost like he's better. Yeah. Once you take the 3-ball out, because you realize the best shooters in the NBA.
It is going to be different because it's the difference also is this.
How do you feel, JJ?
Russell Westbrook is a good 3-point shooter because look, this is a difference now. Like when you got the charge coming and you see LeBron with the ball, you're not the defense and the scouting report is not worried about stopping Westbrook. They're worried about stopping LeBron from getting to the rack. Definitely. So it's like if you look in the NBA for the last couple of years, who is the top guard that can get to the rack? And who is the top forward, let's say, small forward, big guy who can get to the rack the best? Like, it's LeBron and Westbrook. You know what I mean? Like, those two, you're not going to be able to keep them out the paint. And now it's like, you got to worry to stop about both of them. And let's keep in mind, like I said, keep it staying healthy. Like, so this is all with that in mind. Like, they're healthy. So it's like, you got to worry about stopping both of them. And like he said, now you got to worry about stopping AD too, which is like, not only does he take the mid-range, the post, and he can shoot threes, it's like
there's gonna be offensive boards open. There's gonna be offensive boards open. Now, Jay, tell me. But like we gotta get this going. How do you feel? I need to know your starting 5 for the Lakers. If you had to start today with who they acquired, who would you start?
Well, we'll just say with the 3, I'm gonna go with, of course, Russell, LeBron, AD. I'm gonna say Marc Gasol, right?
Oh wow.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna scratch that. I'm gonna go Dwight Howard. I'm gonna start Dwight Howard at my 5. I'm gonna keep Dwight Howard as my 5, and I'm gonna put THT, the young boy, out there with them.
Okay, I like it. Taylor, how do you feel? Like, what would your starting 5 be with who they acquired in the offseason?
And I'll explain why. You niggas are about to lose your shit, but I'll explain why.
Oh shit.
I would have Westbrook at the 1, LeBron at the 2. Okay. I would have Melo at the 3, AD at the 4, Dwight at the 5. Because it's about starting out with the bang. We can bring those other guys off the bench. If Melo plays 15 minutes in the beginning and 5 at the end and closes, dope. I would start with that. You know how intimidating that is?
Oh, that's a 5.
You know what? I'm gonna say this, Taylor. But that, I guarantee you, that lineup right there that you said will be the lineup that finishes and wins a lot of ball games. And that will be probably the finals championship, what is on the 5 that's on the court.
I agree with that. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
5 Hall of Famers.
So with that being said, like, I agree with you on that, like, in the sense of, like, that lineup is deadly. But, I was just thinking in the question in the sense of, like, today's starting 5, because when you start the season, the reason why I put THT in the top 5, because those other guys with that firepower, I feel like if that's the second unit, now we're a balanced 2 units rather than overpowering and heavy. So keeping the guys like Melo and who else did they have in front of THT that was supposed to start?
So let me
Trevor Ariza.
Let me tell you guys who I would have starting. I would have
who would you have start, Tom?
I would have starting Russell Westbrook at the 1.
Mm-hmm.
And this person at the 2, because I think he replaces KCP the best. Wayne Ellington at the 2 for shooting. I feel like if you're looking for someone that does what KCP did the best, like it's either Kendrick Nunn or Wayne Ellington. I feel like Wayne Ellington.
Monk is 40 plus, bro, and he has
but
he's like a baby Jay Crawford, bro.
But Malik Monk kind of throws me off because, like, why were you not out? I know they got LaMelo, but Rozier starting over you, Graham. Like, there's a bunch of dudes that were getting minutes over Malik Monk, and it's kind of like I don't know if Vogel's going to start him. I'm going with, like, I think Vogel's going to lean towards or Kent Bazemore at the 2 because he plays defense. Just because he plays defense. And I would have LeBron at the 3, AD at the 4, Dwight at the 5, with either Wayne Ellington or Kent Bazemore, because either he's going to go defense with Kent Bazemore or he's going to go shooting and go, like, with Wayne Ellington, I think, for starting. But like you said, for the finishing, they're going to have Melo out there to finish the game.
You know what's crazy too? You know what's crazy, Tone and Jay? You know what a crazy thing is that I'm thinking about right now? It's a hard day for these guys because everybody's talking about age. These guys are old. Look, if everybody only plays 15 minutes, we're blowing people out because you're bringing Ariza off the bench.
Crazy.
You're bringing, Trevor Ariza.
How are these guys going to get minutes? How are they have minutes from Malik Monk, Ariza?
Bro, it's bad, bro. Like if you were to take Kendrick Nunn and then Westbrook takes the break, that's a 20-plus guy.
Yeah.
40% from the three. That's a hard day.
I have a feeling too. I'm just saying this right now. Before this show is over, I got a feeling they're gonna get Isaiah Thomas. I have a feeling.
Oh, they get Isaiah. It's a wrap.
You think they grabbed Isaiah Thomas, already?
Yeah, I think they do. I just feel like because if you think about it, you got a guy like Melo in the locker room. You got a guy like LeBron. Those are some of the realest to ever play this game. And they're looking at that situation right now like, man, he needs somebody to help him. Like that could be any one of us. That was Melo before. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
That's all of them. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And LeBron is the realest. LeBron's the realest because he gets his dogs rings. J.R. Smith.
He's about to get these dogs. He's about to get our boys some rings, fellas.
He gets his dogs rings. So it's like he makes champions out of guys like Iman Shumpert. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like if you look at the team now, come on, bro. Like the recipe is there. All the ingredients are there. So it's like they just gotta stay healthy and get there.
Isaiah deserves it, man. That shit made me cry. Isaiah deserves it.
Yeah, dog. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Julian said it. He said it great. He gets his dogs rings. And that's all we gotta know. Like that's all we gotta know after the free agency is over. He gets his dogs rings. It's been amazing chopping it with y'all about the free agency. We covered a lot of bases. Before we get out of here, Taylor, please tell me if you got anything to say to the faithful fans, let them know.
Man, just stay faithful and tune in. Tony's over here killing it every single week. He brings you guys some great content with real opinions, and he's unfiltered, and he allows us to speak freely. And you know, he gets a lot of great stuff out there. So just keep supporting this man and what he's doing. Hit up his Patreon, his Cash App, whatever.
Thank you, T. Thank you. We're gonna get that set up, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very
because this man's working hard. Go back and do your homework. Look at the past shows.
Please.
Just really, really appreciate the work that he's put in. I'll say go check out what Julian's doing over there in Mexico with those children, with bringing up a whole new generation that would never be exposed to this level of prestige, I would say, in basketball. He brings a very, very high level of prestige with who he's been coached by, who he's been mentored by. It's a very, very beautiful collective and eclectic of amazing men. And I think that if you tap in with him, you're only going to get good things out of it, no matter what your craft is. You're going to leave there with the gym or something to help you move forward. So that's what I'll leave it on.
Thank you, Tay. Jay, quick. Before we get out of here, what do you got to say to the faithful fans?
Yeah, man. You know, you guys already know, man. Shout out to Faithful Fan Show for leaving this platform out there. It's for all of us, especially us as boys and brothers. What we have the sports that connected us and brought us our brotherhood close together. You know what I'm saying? That passion of our teams and whatnot. So, yeah, definitely. I want to say, like, you know, shout out everybody, man. Like, shout out my boy Taylor. You already know who that is, man. You know, keep following, supporting him. Check his grind. You know what I mean? And my boy Tone, you know, everything that he does. And, you know, you guys don't even know. He's just real humble. But if you, like, there's times where I'm sitting there watching Netflix and Tone just pops up on my screen. Like,
Stop.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even trip. You know what I mean? Don't even trip.
Ain't going hard with the venom. Shot so much, man. I think I need a leg. I need a leg in the paint. Going hard. I'm there. I need a leg so much, man. I think I need a leg. I need a animal. MC cannibal. Rap animal. Here to change the game, mainframe. All y'all programmable. Coaching on tracks, balling like a paper like Phil. I'm on BS for real. My rhymes convict and heal. A world blind. My lines a red pill. Real. Ball like I've been here. Rookie in his prime. Like Jordan the second time, Kobe in playoff times, you know fully when I drop. Call for it, Kelly go in the Blizo spit. Auto like free throws by Ito, circle loose stroke magic, rhymes over